10 ancient weapons used by humans. Number 10. Hwacha. The first hwacha was created in Korea in 1409 during the Joseon dynasty by some Korean scientists, and they also called it fire chariot and multiple rocket launcher. The only difference is that they use bows and not rockets that we know today. These weapons were used to defend the Korean peninsula against the Japanese when they invaded in the 1590s during the Imjin War. The hwacha is described as an early multiple rocket launcher. It consists of a carriage with 2 wheels on which is placed a board with holes. Each of these holes is filled with singejon, which means magical machine arrows. It is a type of arrow with gunpowder attached to its shaft, and the very first hwacha is capable of firing up to 100 arrows every time it is ignited. The design of this weapon was further improved, where it was able to fire up to 200 arrows with a 14-second reload time. Despite the effectiveness of this weapon, it gradually disappeared due to the continuous use of gun that became more common during the Korean War in the 17th and 18th centuries. Currently, they can be seen in Korean museums, national parks, and popular culture. Number 9. Urumi. The urumi is a type of sword that was originally used in India about 500 years ago during the Songhan period. This sword is also known as chutavali and sorakati, depending on where they are made, but all of them have a flexible blade that is a whip. Measuring approximately 66 inches long, the handle of the urumi is made of steel or bronze and has a crossguard or knuckleballs, and sometimes has ornaments or decorations. And for it to work properly, the blade must be as long as the arm span of the person using it, and multiple blades can also be attached to the same handle. And because it is a combination of 2 different weapons, the urumi technique is usually taught to Indian martial arts. Number 8. Falcata. The falcata is a type of sword that originated in the ancient Iberian Peninsula, specifically in the areas of Spain and Portugal. It is a historical sword used by warriors in Iberia even before the arrival of the Romans. The falcata design has a curved blade inspired by the sickle-shaped knives used in the Iron Age. When Roman troops first encountered warriors carrying falcatas, they were surprised by the quality of the steel and the power of the sword. After learning about falcata, Hannibal liked it, and he gave it to his soldiers in the Second Punic War in the 3rd century when he tried to overthrow the Roman Empire. Falcatas played an important part in the life of warriors in Iberia, and besides fighting with them, their decorative forms were also common. Meanwhile, highly decorated swords were found in the graves of the wealthy during this time. Number 7. Caltrop. A caltrop is a type of trap on vehicles or horses that consists of 4 sharp blades that open outward in both directions. Its purpose is to stop the movement of the enemy, especially horses, vehicles, or traveling riders. They are made of iron or bronze, and their blades are usually sewn or attached to a metal part, and are called it is the Greek tetrahedron or tribolos because of its shape. It was used in 33 BC at Gaugamela, where the armies of Alexander the Great and the Persian Empire were at war, throwing them into the battlefield to slow down the arrival of chariots and horses. Different types of caltrops include the water caltrop and the caltrop used in Japan, known as makibiri. The use of the caltrop has remained largely unchanged due to its very low cost, and the use of medieval weapons has continued to improve over time. Number 6. Kopesh. According to ancient origins, the kopesh, which is a type of sword, evolved from the ancient copper axes of the Bronze Age and was commonly used in Egypt during the time of the pharaohs. Although the history of this sword is linked to Egypt in 1500 BCE, its origin stretches back about 1,000 years and elsewhere, and to Sumer in the 3rd millennium BCE. Its shape has become a symbol of influence and power in Southwest Asian and Mediterranean cultures. The kopesh blade is usually 50 to 60 centimeters long and has a short handle. The kopesh design is used not only for competition, but also in rituals and ceremonies. Their meaning continues to be emphasized in artifacts and books related to the history of Egypt and neighboring cultures. According to research, it is said that it was first made by the Sumerians to be multifunctional, where the curved shape can be used for chopping or cutting. And although it was used in ancient Egypt in 500 BCE, it immediately became a favorite weapon during the nascent New Kingdom and became a symbol of royal and military power. The kopesh was one of the elements of success of the Egyptian Empire due to its effective use as a weapon. Number 5. Archimedes' steam cannon. The Archimedes steam cannon was invented and used in the raid on Syracuse from 214 BC to 212 BC. It was a cannon that used steam or H2O gas to propel a projectile such as a 5-pound iron ball. And because it had the ability to destroy warships, then the steam cannon was actually feared as a weapon of mass destruction. Several scholars, including Petrarch and Leonardo da Vinci, wrote to prove that Archimedes invented a cannon that used steam to force a projectile out of the cannon at great speed. A picture of this destructive invention of Archimedes has also been found in Leonardo da Vinci's documents dated to the late 15th century. The success of Archimedes' steam cannon and war machines caused the Romans to avoid invading Syracuse. Number 4. Chakram. The chakram is a type of weapon originally used in South Asia, particularly India. It is a small round blade usually made of metal such as iron or copper. It has a sharp edge that usually has a width of 12 to 30 centimeters and a thickness of 2 to 5 millimeters. It is used by rotating around the finger so that it has strength and speed in hitting the target. It is an effective weapon for battles and hunting. Apart from military use, it is also used in ceremonies, rituals, and contests in traditional cultures. In battle, it is usually thrown vertically to avoid hitting allies. The design and use of the chakram has allowed it to become a symbol of wisdom and elegance in warfare in many Asian cultures. Number 3. Bugnak, also known as tiger claw. It is a type of knife used as a fighting tool in traditional arts, like Varma Kalai and Silambam. This weapon became popular during its long history of use in India, particularly during the times of the Marathas and Sikhs. It consisted of sharp nails made of iron or copper, attached to a rough structure or frame, usually placed in the palm of the hand. In some cases, there is an additional 1 or 2 blades that extend from the side of the bugnak, an additional weapon that may have been used for jabbing or thrusting. Number 2. Lantern shield. One of the most unusual weapons made during medieval Europe, it originated in 16th century Italy. It is called a lantern because of its unique design that is shaped like a light and consists of a large shield, usually made of wood or metal, with a thick frame with a light in the middle. This light can have different designs, from simple decoration to more creative works of art, and it is not only used as protection from enemies, but it can also be used for attack. The blades of the lantern shield are made of 2 swordbreaker daggers, known as Degenbrecher in German, and the rest of the weapon consists of a small buckle-type plate shield to which is attached an Italian mitten glove or gauntlet. However, the lantern shield is not a very common weapon in the history of war. Instead, it was more popular in war games or in ceremonial performances. Number 1. Morning Star. The Morning Star, also known as the Morgenstern, is a mace-like weapon with a spike head mounted on a shaft designed to crush the enemy. This weapon dates back to medieval times, and unlike the other weapons mentioned, the Morning Star requires a skilled person to use it to be effective in war. It was a popular weapon in medieval times and continues to be used in war game performances and historical reenactments. Despite the simplicity of this weapon, the Morning Star was a great defense in the medieval period and remains strong to this day. What is your opinion in our video today? Comment down below.